Hello everyone and welcome back to NeoBurgh. So we're working on providing a connection through for the purple line here to go straight through to our connection here and then down through a number of different connections down here. So what we need to do first off is change where this station is, and I think what would be best is if we had potentially a couple of stations here. So one which connects to the bricks factory that we've got here, and that would ultimately bring through the stone and take bricks to where they're needed if they need to connect through. And what we can also do after we've put that connection in, so we would be using the southfold line probably and bringing that through down this way, potentially even connecting it up with the Alford and Burglar Marsh line here, because that connects through quite a distance of track and allows it to get through to a number of different areas. What we can then do is have the Swindon line connect through up to, say, maybe Tring or up this way, using a different set of train tracks. So that does mean that we're going to have to change things here. And I've spoken about it a few times. I'd like to remove the Dover line here and just have the Bawtry line, because ultimately having the two of them is a little bit redundant. Just as we've found with the Alford and Burglar Marsh lines through, they're a little bit better when you bolt on the two different sides to it. So with that in mind, what I would like to do here is ultimately change up the Bawtry connection. So that would be connecting in one of these interlinking connections here and allowing trains to come through that way. So without further ado, if we were to connect it in, it may be easier to connect it into one of these stations down here, just because we'd likely need to put in a second connection here, so a second set of tracks, and we've just put in all this extra buffer space here, whereas this one doesn't have it. So with that in mind, I think it's probably best. Does this connect to that? No, not quite, but I bet it probably could if we extended it a bit and maybe moved it a bit closer, which would be quite a good little connection to just an oil well there. So if we change this up slightly, so I'm going to remove that connection there. I'm going to move this over and we're going to put in some extensions to the platforms just to make sure that larger trains can get to this station as well. So we're going to put in a second connection here. We can't quite hear, which is a bit of a pain, but because we've extended it, it may not be a problem. Could we possibly... Oops, no, I don't want to delete the station. Remove that out and then put it back in. Will that fix it? So if we put this in as we want it to be, like so, and then if we put these train tracks back, bridge pillar, what if we delete it further back? If we raise this up, put this in, that's done the trick. So let's just make sure that this is alongside it. Oh, no, not quite. Maybe what we can do is remove the road out. And then we could possibly change it to a side one. That may work. Because we've got steps on the other side as it is. And nothing's actually loading here, so... There we go. So we should be able to connect these back in without an issue. Either side. Put in some more signals. And then what we can do is connect this one to the tunnel through. And then that leaves a spare for us to connect in however we wish. So if we take a look at the Bawtry line, we want that to go to number 3 and number 4, like so. And then if we put in some more cargo buildings, not that they're really needed here, then that should allow us to connect this through. We want to make sure that these connect. So put in a few roads here. There we go. Right, how far does that get? Gets to there. It's funny, I would have thought that would connect a little bit. Like, what happens if we just go from there straight through? Does it connect now? Yes. Okay. Cool. So that can serve as a connection through for the oil well, and we can put in other connections and what have you here as well. In fact, that may become part of the connection there. We could probably change this up a little bit now, so that if we wanted, this could connect through down to this way, and that provides us with quite a little corner to move all the stops up. So we have 2, 4, 6 lines. That's quite a substantial amount of lines. We need more space than this. And it's annoying because it's right where a hill is. So I think we might have to do it on this side because the hill interferes too much with it on that side. So if we put some cargo space, oops, in the right space, that is. And then we can put an entrance there, entrance there and there, exit there and there. And then we will need to expand this. So if autosave allows us, that is. There we go. There we go. So now we have roughly 6 slots for this connection here. So we can connect that up there. Do the same on that side. And we can connect this into here with the same here. And then that should provide us with a spot where we can swap these over to. So if we just try connecting these in, so just swapping them over. 30 seconds there. 30 seconds here. Seconds there. 30 seconds here. then if we remove these stops, because they're not needed anymore, because the stuff's coming from a different direction altogether. Where else are the... I think that's all of the markers. So then if we check this, for example, oh, Dover number 25 was missing. So if we just split these out, there we go. So we can put these, let's keep that there. We can put these so that they can use the additionals. So number 10 for this. Number 12. Where is this stopping? Here. Ah, okay. We need to remove this one. Because they're not needed. They're not needed any longer. This one can use number 5. This one, number 3. Number 1. Number 8. Yeah. There we go. And now it's spread out a little bit more. Oh. So hopefully these will not affect the emissions of Dover. We also have these ones, which aren't needed. And this can be removed. There wasn't any lines on that, so it should be fine. The train station we could potentially use to connect in, say, down here. So I'm not too eager to remove it, but the train connection down here we can get rid of. So if we sell those and then go into here, we can get rid of this one. And then it'll all just be going up on the Bawtry line, which is kind of perfect. We just need to connect this side into one of these. Whether we connect... might be perfect to connect in those coal mines to this, because then that would be a completely gondola train line there. So I won't make too many changes here other than putting in a train station here. this going to be correct? At the right height, I mean. I hope it should be. This one's going to be a bit trickier. Let's try putting in a bit of a better road around this. So we'd start from here, go around, and then down this way. We can even connect in this side. Do a little road around there. But this side doesn't have any connections, so we won't be connecting in that side. As you can see, it's sort of the hill that it mines out of, so that's absolutely fine. What we need to try and do is find where a train line can actually go in here. I think it might have to be something like this. Oh, excuse me. So we would have this side connecting that way. It's almost acting a bit like a pendulum. So that connects to that one. And then this side would connect to the one over here. We have started to run out of money, so we may need to let it play through. And that way we can ensure that we keep what money we, or do what we need to. That is horrendous. I'm going to pretend I didn't see that. Oh god. So we'll need a stop going through. We have no money all of a sudden, so we will just put the line in here. That one can go to number 2. This one can go to actually number 2 is correct. Use number 1 as an extra. I don't think this will need too many trains, so we don't have to worry too much about stops. So that should be fine. Just finish this one. Oh, damn it. It's always when we come to do this one that we don't have any money. What is it doing to us? It's teasing us. It's like, nope, you can't put this stop in. It's one stop too many. Well, hopefully we'll have a payday all of a sudden and we'll be able to put it in. There we go, like that. Right, so if we put in connection with a gondola line. We need 48 million. So that won't happen for a few minutes, at least. But then that will connect in these two, and that means that this one can connect down to here. Do we want to connect through maybe the other line? So the Swindon line that we've got here, we could connect it in on this side. That could be quite a good little connection. Let's try and put this train in now. So it would be a BR. In fact, it doesn't really need to be a BR. It could be like two Series 246s, probably. And that saves a fair bit of money as well. So I'm happy with that. In fact, while we're at it, let's make that load up on either side so that it hopefully spreads those vehicles across the line a little bit better. So that should have a good effect on it. Right, so we have moved this over here. We've got the line here. We need to do something here to bring a train line through down to this one. I think it's actually quite a good idea if we extend the Swindon connection. So I think we will do that. So if we have that go over there, then we need to give it something to shoot for over here. I'm thinking if we made this go into a tunnel, it's probably a little bit easier than making the train go into a tunnel. So the train will just be going straight through here, hopefully, if bridge pillars don't cause issues. Of course, that's a bit much to ask of bridge pillars, because bridge pillars do cause issues all the time. All the bloody time. So if we go underneath it here, we should be able to go over the top of it here. How high do we have to go to avoid these? Quite high, it turns out. So if we connect that there, use dirt on this side, use dirt on this side, that should be all sorted. And now we've got a connection through. If we just connect it up here, that should work pretty well. and connect through the Swindon connection there. Hopefully this is no. Why is it causing issues? It shouldn't be doing that. Maybe if we try it from this side. This is one tunnel, isn't it? Not two. Well, I mean, it is two tunnels, but each one is their own single entity rather than having a weird one tunnel connection in between them, which is not what we want. There we go. So that will connect up down to here. Right, so now we just need to connect this through. So that's number 2. Maybe if we just connect it in from here, like this. So now those trains pull stuff through to Bawtry as well. And that's quite good because Dover and Bawtry both want a lot of food, which can be brought straight up from that line. The only problem is that line doesn't want gondola. Like, we don't need any gondolas to come down here. So potentially we need to separate them out, which wouldn't necessarily be such a bad thing because it means that we can put these on separate tracks and separate out where the grain goes as such, because we are bringing it over by truck at the moment. That will have to change, and it is kind of changing with all of this. It's just taking time because we haven't connected that through yet. So I think what we need to do is keep an eye on this. Hopefully having the gondola lines come up this way won't affect it too much, but it may well cause issues down here, which we will need to address. So I'm going to keep an eye on it, and hopefully it doesn't cause a problem, but if it does, we can sort that out. But yeah, I think what we're going to do is leave this one here. We've done a fair amount in changing over where the cargo comes from for Dover, and that should mean that the Bawtry line here gets a lot more use. So we will need to hook up bricks here as well. Before I forget, let's just put a Series 246 with flat side stakes on that train line. But then again, all of this will probably be changing quite shortly, because at the moment we only really have two stops here, and you know, less and less is getting connected here. So what we want to try and do is use those lines to connect through, rather than having them go to one place, having them go to multiple places, and that should make them be more efficient and get more use out of them. But I'm going to leave this one here. We've done a fair amount. We've been quite busy. So thank you for watching. Let me know what you think in with your thumbs. If your thumbs don't cut it, then let me know with a comment. But as always, have a good one. Cheers. Bye.